All right. Greetings. What's up, people? How you doing? Thanks for being here. I think you can hear me. If you have a problem hearing me, let me know. Um, yeah. Yeah. What's up, y'all? Weird times, getting weirder. Buckle up, stuff like that. What's up, Poppy, Bella, Greg? Who else is in here? Extra Bullet is in here. We're live on YouTube, X, Rumble. Rumble has a really annoying has replaced their logo with like a American flag logo. Jesus Christ. Yeah. So ridiculous. But what's up, y'all? We'll try to talk about it. Try to wade through the mess the schwamps, the schwampity mess that is, I don't know what, news, social media, information, disinformation, a full-on takeover of the country and its laws. You know, it's obvious that we're completely occupied by Israel and corporate entities. Our country is not our own. We are descending into something. I don't know what we're descending into, but are you supposed to go over to X? You can do whatever you want, Kate. If you can hear me and see me on YouTube, then all's well. I didn't change anything today. Yeah, so we're just at the mercy of like however far these folks want to take us down the road of insanity. And who knows? I am increasingly suppressed right now on all of my accounts. I mean, by the way, I put out some music today, y'all. If you want to go hear a new song, I'm trying to drop kind of like a song a week. And then after a certain amount of time, there will be a whole album of songs. So I'm just kind of rolling it out song by song. And then at the end of the rollout is going to be a whole album. But here is the link on YouTube. I know you can't really click on it. I'll try and drop it on X. Where am I? I'm sure there are people watching on X or elsewhere, but they just won't let me know that anybody's watching. But go on, have a gander or a listen if you like. Or you can go to my page is Matador with 4. The A is a 4. First A is a 4. I saw that. Robert Redford died. I did see that. It's a shame. Legendary actor. In a lot of my favorite old school movies. Yeah. I feel like he was an all around good guy too. For what I know, of him. All right. Well, what the heck is going on? Electric Horseman, yeah. Butch and Sundance, yeah. Field of Dreams, super, super great. The Sting, great freaking movie. What else was in? Whole bunch of things. Sneakers. 3 Days of the Condor. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Yeah, he was in a lot of those like political intrigue movies, right, back in the day. I might have to go rewatch that movie, by the way. It might be time. That might be my quest tonight, is to rewatch that movie. Because I'm in the middle of watching a really stupid, vapid series on Amazon. It's mostly vapid and stupid. but I just sometimes I put things on just to like decompress. It doesn't really matter what I'm watching. All the President's Men. That's an amazing one. Yeah, that's a really good one. Well, and if, I guess if we're going to follow the logic that we're an occupied country, the occupiers are the enemy of the country and the people of this country. Just saying. That the entire, and I have proof of this. Pretty much the sitting Congress, as we know it, plus the Trump administration, plus whoever is in support of all the stuff that they're doing, are enemies of the state, infiltrators, traitors, who have usurped power against the wishes of the people. What are we going to do about that? What are we going to do about that? And it doesn't really matter, I don't, it doesn't matter what, if you're a Democrat or a Republican or what side of the aisle you're on, it doesn't really matter. The occupying force is all the same, and they occupy both sides of the aisle. They are both guilty of said treason and usurpation of the Constitution and rights. What are we going to do about that? By God, even Rand Paul is saying it's crazy because they're kind of using the left's stance for the last few years, which is that hate, not all speech is free. Some speech can be categorized under hate speech, so we got to go after the hate speechers. But the right did a full-on 3-card Monty and said, no, hold my beer. Like, we'll take it from here. And they're like, not all speech is free speech, and we're going to go after the hate speechers. But happens to be the left. What do wouldn't you know? It's the left that are the hate speechers. And madness ensues on all sides, and a lot of this madness is manufactured madness. I saw a really good post earlier today. I follow a bunch of, like, I don't know what you call them, psycho spiritual influencers. Some of them are more like they all kind of say the same thing. They all have kind of the same message, but some are more psychologists and some are more spiritualists, but they all say the same thing. Literally, like the same exact message, which is a fine message. It's fine. But what this one person was saying was that a friend of his was like, get rid of all the Arabs and the Muslims and the Palestinians and blah blah blah. And he's like, I don't, it was horrible to hear, but he's like, but he was a victim of years of propaganda, and he's like, that's been the propaganda for years and years and years and years, and conditioned people to just believe this without thinking about it. And that's what propaganda does. It instills narratives in your mind that you're not aware of. These are not narratives that you have actually come up with yourself. And it's easier to take these narratives in when your friends or people that look like you or align with you politically or are in your club, whatever your club or your clique is. If your friends all think a certain way, it's much easier for you to go like, I think that way too. Well, yeah, sure, sounds good to me, right? But you don't know that all of it is propaganda, right? And there might be kernels of truth, and there might be real feelings and emotions involved in this propaganda, but a lot of it is driven forward by narratives created by someone else, in a think tank far away, far away. So you really gotta. What I do enjoy about the influencers that I follow is that they're really big on thinking for yourself. And they are, I'm happy to report that there are people pushing back on narratives on my timeline and getting a lot of flack for it. And so they'll come out and say like, don't go down this road. And then a bunch of people will be like, what are you talking about? You crazy. Blah, 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 blah. Scream, 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 scream. You don't believe what I believe, therefore you are a bad person. Blah, 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 blah. And they do a couple of videos telling everybody, okay, let me tell you what you're doing about what you're doing. And then they'll go on with their day. But glad to see people pushing back on this shit. But you got to work hard in these days and times. You got to really parse out what it is you're thinking and you think that you're feeling, and the information that you're getting that you think you align with. So, one thing that I've seen today, a big news push, is that a young man was found hung in Alabama. So I'm seeing two different stories. One about Trey Reed, and then another. The first couple of posts I saw were two. They were like, two men were hung, were lynched in the last 2 days. And then they changed the story kind of quickly to one man was found hung, which is interesting because it happened really fast today, just this morning. The first couple of posts I saw were two men were lynched in the last day or two. And then I saw very quickly that some people were like, okay, one of those is true and the other one is not necessarily true. But I went and looked at this story. I didn't mean to start here, but we'll start here. Black student found hanging from tree at Delta State University. And, it very well could be a lynching, but the thing is, it's the same as Charlie Kirk. If you're just going to jump out in the story and just believe what you want to believe about it and just insist that what happened before you have all the evidence to parse through, it's a very dangerous thing. And I feel like, isn't this very, coincidental and convenient? You could say like, oh, okay, well, one way to look at it is like, well, okay, the racists are, out rampaging and they're going to go out and lynch people now because the right is rampaging against. I haven't seen any real actually evidence of that, of like people on the right going out rampaging, other than on freaking social media or other than trying to get people fired. I have seen people saying that they were going to, they're getting fired or whatever. And again, you can't really, it's online, it's on Twitter, so you can't really take all of those, some people might be just making those posts for clickbait. Some people might just be making that, who you don't know. Where's the evidence, right? Like people are saying like, I just got fired from my job today. Thanks, MAGA. It could be true. What they could be saying was true, but you don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know these people. You have no idea what's going on. These could be people just making shit up for clickbait. This could be people making shit up to stir up the pot. This could be, it could be so many things. I just find it very interesting that, after a week of people going nuts online about, whatever side they're on, whatever position they're taking, Charlie Kirk gets assassinated, and then the story of a lynching happens, and then doesn't that just incite a lot more emotions? Doesn't that just incite the whole thing? Doesn't that just make the whole thing more like, oh my god, they're F them, we're gonna go get them, right? Like it just, and that's how people react. F them, we're gonna go get them. It's F those people. That's it. We're, gloves off moment, right? Like that's what they're trying to get people. And it's just, I don't know whether this is a lynching or not. In fact, the story says they have found no evidence that it was. They're investigating it as a suicide. Personally, I'm like, I don't know. This is really a black man hangs himself from a tree at 7:00 in the morning to commit suicide. I don't know if that actually sounds really plausible to me, but those are my own just personal opinions about it. But I don't know anything about this. You don't know anything about this. You don't know if it was like a hate crime, hazing, somebody really taking their life. Nobody has the information, but people already, Amanda Seals and everybody is like, somebody was lynched today. You don't know that. Like, you don't know that. It's crazy. It's really crazy. And it's upsetting that like all this, emotional turmoil is being generated. Kirk was he said he was for free speech. That's what he said. I mean, that's what I have a video from a gentleman saying like, hey, that's what he claimed. He was for free speech. I don't, the thing is like, I've seen several clips of Charlie Kirk now speaking. I didn't follow Charlie Kirk at all. I didn't listen to anything he had to say. I knew who Charlie Kirk was, but I had no interest, no motivation whatsoever to go listen to Charlie Kirk talk ever. Okay. So my knowledge about who Charlie Kirk was or what it was he said, very limited. I'm seeing little clips here and there of like things that he said. And he seems pretty typically, right wing, but middle of the, not like crazy, not super crazy. And he does say like, I want to have free speech and discourse, and let's get to the, his point was to go out and talk to people, and like his point was to go out and debate people on stuff. And it wasn't like he was like listening to people. He was counteracting what they were saying, but he wasn't like, so I don't know. Was he a free speecher or was he a hate speecher? I don't know enough about him to really, he was on the right, so everybody on the left is like, well, he was definitely a white supremacist because he was on the right, without probably nobody who's calling him a white supremacist actually ever fucking listened to him before this. Probably, not, I'm going to say 98% of those people who are calling him a white supremacist have never heard him say anything ever at all. So okay. I don't know that much about him either. I do know that his whatever happened to him is definitely orchestrated, and it's meant to manipulate people and get them all riled up. And so like, you really gotta like, people are high in emotion, and then they want you have to be emotional too, or else something's wrong with you if you're not emotional, if you're not like, oh my god, oh my freaking god, dude, chill out. Like, it's okay. to lower the emotional response to everything that's happening and go, what is really happening? What's really going on? What's the game? What's at play? And it's really sucks because today I'm seeing all of my black friends on Instagram. Somebody was lynched today. I was like, dude, that's not the story. That's not what they're saying. You don't know that. So like slow your roll until you find out what really happened. And it could very well be that he was lynched. And that, then hey, fuck yes, be angry about it. I'd be freaking angry about it. Honestly, my gut feeling is like something is wrong with this story. I don't feel like it's, he hung himself from a tree. I don't feel like that's the real story. I feel like something is going on with the story, but we don't know that. We don't know what the actual thing is. So slow your freaking roll with the whole somebody was lynched today. Slow your roll. And it just, before, because they're really, really, really trying to get people to just go full on emotional, like tilt. And like, you can't do that. You cannot do that. Not today, not right now, not, it's just a bad time to do that. The body of 21-year-old Trey Reed was discovered on Monday morning, prompting the university to cancel classes and campus activities. The body of Black student was found hanging from a tree at Delta State University early Monday, prompting horror on the Cleveland, Mississippi campus. According to the university's chief of police, the body of 21-year-old DeMartravion Reed was discovered on Monday at approximately 7:05 a.m. local time. They were notified of what appeared to be the body of a black male hanging from a tree. Despite online comments describing the death as a lynching, harking back to the U.S. South's well-documented history of lynching black Americans, Police Chief Peeler said the circumstances behind Reed's hanging are still under investigation. As of this time, there's no evidence of foul play. While there's no evidence of foul play, the body has been retrieved by the coroner's office. According to the Mississippi Free Press, they said there was no evidence of broken arms or legs. I don't think people should discuss this any further than that. My opinion is that it was self-done, and I have reasons for that, said Coroner Murray Rourke, despite the death still being an active investigation. We don't know what so we don't know what happened. And it's, definitely tragic and sad. It's it's tragic, it's sad, and it's even more sad that people are using this to like ramp everything up, just ramp it up. Let's not ramp it up until we know like what's going on, whether or not something foul play was afoot in this. It's definitely being used to manipulate people, to get their hackles up and get everybody all like, no, everybody on the left or everybody in black spaces, no, fuck you. That's what it's being used for. And the thing that sucks is that like the way that the Trump administration is reacting to the left right now is the more they get you in that space of being antagonistic, it's not a good outcome. Not a good outcome for people on the left right now, I don't think. As far as I can tell, like, because I have seen videos of people getting kicked off of college campuses or getting fired from their jobs or whatever for like celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. Like it's a frightening time. But if you are being baited into getting really aggro online, it's probably probably not a good look to get baited into getting aggro online, like if you don't know what's happening. Who's raiding the South Koreans? Is somebody raiding the South Koreans? What's going on? I can't keep up, man. Here's 250 U.S. state legislators currently in Israel. Yay! What are they doing there? Why are they there? What's going on? What's happening? I have questions. A lot of people have questions. Oh, Hyundai. Yeah, that is crazy. I don't know what that's about. That doesn't make no sense. They're here. What is this logo? 50 states, one Israel. What is that? Are we merging with Israel as who? What? Are we 50 states? The 50 states of Israel now? Is that what they're trying to tell us? What the hell? And this, this is who is orchestrating everything or helping orchestrate everything that is going on right now. So again, really, 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 really step back. Try to zoom out from the whole situation. I mean, even now Israel is saying we've got to shut down social media. Israeli leader will put restrictions on the social media, and the U.S. should do the same, especially since the U.S. is now the United States of Israel. Leader of Israel's opposition Democratic Party, Yair Golan, so democratic. The next thing we will do, is to put restriction on the social media in a way that is not allowed to make brutal propaganda. What? What?
The next thing we will do, is to put restriction on the social media in a way that not allowed to make brutal propaganda in the social media.
So he's saying we'll just restrict brutal propaganda? What does this mean? I mean, I'm actually for restricting propaganda on US social media, but like, what are you actually talking about?
Because this is a worldwide problem and it should be initiated by the United States of America, the place where all the big firms is settled. Facebook and X and all the rest. This is a major problem for democracy all over the globe. And we need to treat it seriously. We can do it.
If
The
he's
next thing
if he's just talking about propaganda, I'm actually for this.
we will do,
Because what they're doing now is shutting down actual free speech in various ways. They're shutting down free speech by the people, and we're getting a lot of propaganda and less free speech and more propaganda. So if he's actually talking about shutting down propaganda, that's a different thing. But I don't think, I have my hopes for any party in Israel is about the level of my hopes for any party in the US, which is like, really? You guys going to come in and save the day? Okay. Okay. Sure. James Lee has been pointing at So apparently TikTok rolled out a new algorithm. I wouldn't know because they have me. They hate they hate on me so hardcore. I'm telling you, I have a cross social media platform like squash algorithm, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, what I'm posting. They're just like, nope, not this guy. Squash this guy. Whatever he's posting, you know, the less people see it, the better. And TikTok absolutely hates me. And I don't really, I'm posting like music videos, but they know they know what I'm saying, they know who I am, they know blah blah blah. So they just squash everything I try to put out there. So TikTok apparently rolled out a new algorithm. Apparently they're supposed to shut down again tomorrow, but I don't know why. They're wholly controlled by Israel. So like any of the, they're supposed to there's the US is still pushing them for them to be sold, but it doesn't matter. Israel wholly controls TikTok right now. So there's no China danger. All of it is theater. There's no China danger. They're just trying to they're trying to control TikTok because they don't want the youths talking about how Israel is a rogue state who's taken over our country and they're, committing crimes and war crimes and Holocaust and stuff. My Mac is ratting me out even when I'm asleep. Yeah. So James Lee, this video has been removed by TikTok with my account receiving a strike with the M2 algorithm that launched last night, run by their hate speech chief, who is a former IDF soldier and Israeli citizen. It's clear Israel is officially taking full control of TikTok. Let's watch this. My face too. That's my face too.
50 states, one Israel. What is that? Well, the state of Israel just posted this on their Instagram a few hours ago. Quote, the 50 states, one Israel delegation has landed in Israel. 250 American legislators will spend the coming week in Israel and experience it as it truly is by doing this kind of thing, which I guess is required for all U.S. government officials. Okay, I just want to point out to everybody that since Charlie Kirk was assassinated on September 10th, the U.S. government has blocked the Epstein files release, passed an amendment that bans the Pentagon from boycotting Israel, proposed a bill from Marco Rubio to revoke passports for critics of Israel. The House also approved $650 million for Israel's missile defense. And as you just saw there, Marco Rubio visited Israel. And now, once again, there are 250 legislators in Israel at the 50 states, one Israel delegation being serenaded with Somewhere Over the Rainbow, a song known as a Project Monarch trigger for mind control MK Ultra slaves to activate them to do bidding against their will. And this is all totally normal, right?
It's kind of, I covered all that yesterday, but so it was kind of a rehashing of everything I said yesterday. But if you try to French kiss the wall, they won't let you leave. Bella says your Mac is ratting you out even when it's asleep. I'm sure. Is BBN propaganda? I don't know. What do you think? I mean, you think whatever you want. I'm not here to tell you what to think or how to think or whatever. I'm just, I say what I got to say. You take it in however you want to take it. I hope that anything I have to say is helpful and useful. Here's Rand Paul. So there's a couple videos of people saying, "Oh, we gotta cut out the hate speech," like the true lefty communists that they are. This is Rand Paul. Rand Paul, Mr. Libertarian, Mr. Freedom.
I was assaulted 6-7 years ago, attacked from behind, had 6 ribs broken and part of my lung removed, and still online on a daily basis, people say they wish that it would happen to me all over again. And by sort of making light of what I suffered, they are encouraging other people to do it. And really, that ought to be taken down, and social media ought to be able to take that down. If people are saying this in their workplace, people say, oh, people have a right to say things. Well, actually, they don't necessarily have a right to say things. Many people have in their contract what we call a moral clause to their contract, or a conduct clause. My guess is you have something in your contract that says you have to behave in a certain way in public. Most people do. If you're in the military, you have a conduct code that you have to adhere to in your speech and the way you present yourself to the public. So I think it is time for this to be a crackdown on people. And like I say, it's perfectly legal and legitimate, particularly if it's part of the contract.
I mean, I think it's, there are like terms of service and all that kind of stuff. And I think that, like, if you're actually truly usage tracking agent, what are you telling me, Bella? I need to, I feel like I need to have this information. Circumferenced? What is it? What is that? Usage tracking agent? Are you talking about what my Mac is doing? I mean, I'm paying attention to what you're saying because I check my activity. Oh, I've heard people saying stuff like that before, like, check my activity monitor. There's some random things running in the background. I have no idea what they're. 50 agents constantly sending data. I'm sure. Okay, well, I'll check it. I'm not going to be surprised. I mean, I don't, threatening people with violence is not a great thing, right? If you're actually threatening somebody with violence, I think that's, but free speech is the freedom to whatever, to say how you feel or whatever, even if you don't, whatever. Activity monitor is how you check it. Are there other ways to check, Bella? Well, let's listen to Pam Bounder.
There's free speech and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie, in our society.
The thing is that how do you define hate speech? Hate speech is a nebulous. Hate speech can be defined in, like, many different ways. And it's nebulous in that it can encompass anything that somebody feels like is threatening, right? I mean, there's a clear threat of violence, if somebody's threatening somebody with violence, which is actually covered by free speech because it's just speech. It's not actual violence. It is speech. It is not actual violence. So that actually is covered by free speech. Hate speech is actually covered by free speech. So, it's just it's a thing where it's like, well, where do you draw the line? Where it's a slippery slope, and then you just start, I mean, if you hear the woke crowd tell it, not responding in the way that they are responding to a certain event or something is complicit, meaning you support the other side, which could be, if they were running the show, could be included as somehow not saying anything, could be hate speech. I don't know. It's just, where do you draw the line? Is that something we can run, Bella, from the computer or without? Or do you need an app for that? Or Lulu is a free open source firewall. Oh, cool. Word. I'm on it. screenshotting.
Do you see more law enforcement going after these groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people, so we show them that some action is better than no action?
We will absolutely target you, go after you if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything. And that's across the aisle. There's free speech and then there's hate
Word.
speech.
Thank you, Bella.
And there is
I'm gonna be on that
especially
today.
now, especially after what happened to Charlie in our society.
Do you see
The thing is, I'm going to stop it. I'm just not going to play anymore. They're literally saying the same thing that the left has been saying for quite some time, right? Like Twitter, Elon bought Twitter because Twitter was censorious of the right under the guise of hate speech. The whole reason why Elon bought Twitter was because Twitter was censorious towards the right under the guise of hate speech. And the right was like, how, oh, you're infringing and you're doing, you guys are shutting us down and shutting us out of the conversation, and you're impinging on our rights, et cetera, et cetera. And when Elon bought Twitter, everybody's like, joy to the right. And now, whoa, lo and behold, the right wing is doing the same thing to the left wing. Remember back, long ago, when I and many others said, hey, lefties, hey guys, hey, don't support this. Don't go down this road. Yeah, you block that Donald Trump. Yeah, you block that other guy, all the other guys too. You block that Alex Jones. You block him. You get him off this app. And everybody was like, hey guys, hey. You get those right wingers out of here. Hey guys, hey guys, hey. A bunch of people were like, hey, if you do that and you get your way, it will be used against you. Behold what is happening, or what's about to happen to the left. Behold is go. You open the door, you will, you were like, sure, thump these motherfuckers I don't like. Sure. Go for it. Block them. Kick them off. Get them out of here. Hate speech. Behold, it's being used against you in the very same way. Which everybody said, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, I know. Max Blumenthal has been well, didn't I'm sorry. Excuse me. Suddenly choppy. Got a chop in the throat. Not literally, but anyways, free speech is free speech, even if you don't like it, and you have to have it. Because if you think that somebody should be shut up because you don't like them, it will be used against you. And that's why. Where's the thing about Max Blumenthal I had in here? Oh, here, this got a lot of attention the other day. Max Blumenthal said that Trump is definitely being threatened by Israel.
Does the president of the United States fear for his life?
Yes. Yes, I mean, obviously he fears for his life, and I was told that he feared for his life before the 2 assassination attempts, one coming within a millimeter of striking his head. I mean, let's not forget about that.
But I mean, just to clarify, he doesn't fear for his life because of Ireland.
I mean, I've been told, yes, that Israel is a major source of concern for Trump. I mean, think about it. What would happen
This
if
is
the
our
president
ally.
just if he
That's why I'm
suspended arms to
confused. Yeah.
if he suspended arms to a country that carries out assassinations all across the globe, that specializes in assassinations, that has an entire wing of its intelligence services that conducts assassinations, including with household goods like pagers, would you not be scared? So yes, Trump is scared. And what I learned from this source, who is a Trump insider, someone who talks to who has, who talks to people in the Oval Office, people close to Trump, is that during one of Netanyahu's many visits to the US this year, some figures in his retinue, Israeli agents, placed electronic devices on emergency response Secret Service vehicles. The Secret Service found them and they reported this to the White House. These would be emergency response vehicles that would respond to an incident potentially involving the president.
Yo, that's well, not surprising actually. I mean, Max Blumenthal also was threatened by what's his name? Ackman. Well, because Max Blumenthal said that Bill Ackman threatened Charlie Kirk. That they had a meeting with Charlie Kirk. Or no, it was Candace Owens, sorry. And then Bill Ackman was like, you said what? Let's just look at this for a second. Bill Ackman met with Charlie Kirk on August 4th and 5th. Here's what Charlie had to say the very next day on August 6th.
I'm an American citizen. Yes, I want Israel to win. Yes, I'm a Christian. But some of the mess, and you've seen how I've been treated, Megan, by some, not all, by some.
No, it's very irritating.
It's
been
almost
so
as
unfair. They were coming after you after Turning Point for, among other things, that you had Dave Smith there. Dave Smith is allowed to criticize Israel. You had both sides. The Israeli side was overrepresented.
Though. No, you're not allowed to. It's even worse than that. Again, I just want to repeat for the 5th time. I love Israel. I want Israel to win. But my moral character is now being put into question, Megan. Not my decisions. Not like, hey, are you doing this? Is it smart or is it dumb? But no, I am a bad person if I do this. And I could go. I mean, you saw it, Megan. It was trending on Twitter, thousands of tweets and text messages. And if I were to be charitable and generous, I will say the people that are attacking me are in a hyper paranoid state because they're at war, and war tends to make things black and white, and you're a hammer looking for a nail. So I'm trying to be charitable, Megan. Literally.
Wow. Well, it does sound like he had questions. And I played the other clip that they deleted from YouTube. People in the White House and Israeli lobby were warning him to stay in line. Sorry, just could not read that. You all can read that better than I can. Yeah, so there's something to the theory, for sure. But again, I don't know. There's 300 theories, and now there's 20 different shooters. This guy in the crowd shot him. No, this guy in the crowd definitely shot him. No, this guy behind him shot. There's so many conflicting stories now, which is, I think, on purpose. to, completely confuse everybody as to what is going on. Like, it's complete, like, if somebody thinks that they absolutely know who shot Charlie Kirk, like, I think, I am steering away from any kind of like conclusive assumptions about who did what and where and whom, because I have no idea. There's way too many stories. There's way too many different stories. There are so many theories, and like, all I know is the one that they're trying to tell you is not the one that happened. That's all I know. Absolutely not. And the only story that you need to know about is intentional manipulation of your brain. That's the only story you need to know about. You don't need to know any other thing about how or who or did he or was he or really. Looks like he got his wish. Oh man, that's dark, creative, but right on. Yeah. Oh, Cash Patel is absolutely, I don't know what he's doing. He's just there running narrative management. He's not, there's nothing. I saw somebody like tweet at him, "Hey, Cash, you want to look at these guys over here or what are, I was like, you think he gives a shit? Cash Patel doesn't give a flying. Cash Patel is, a puppet on strings dancing however somebody wants him to dance, and he doesn't, he's not going to go out and hunt down the bad guys or who really did this. That's not gonna, like, I was just like, the absolute lunacy of actually tweeting at him, "Cash, hey Cash, you want to look at this?" Like, come on, man. Cash is a Mossad puppet as much as anybody else is. So I, what, what, what? I don't know what you want. This guy hasn't, all I'm, I don't care about all the theories, but this guy does have something interesting to say.
Sorry, I can't leave this alone. 30-06 is a monster fucking.
Which is the rifle that they're saying that was used. So listen to this.
And if somebody were to have been in it would have ripped that apart. Wouldn't have been a little boop, boop, boop. No. Rip it apart. And that white shirt he was wearing, covered with tissue. And it would have knocked his fucking ass off that chair. He'd have been 5 feet from the chair minimum. This is for educational purposes only. And I'm sure there's some hunters out there that have an opinion somewhere along that line. Sorry, I can't leave this alone.
So if you're wondering about whether the story they're trying to tell you is real, oops, what did I say just now? Another fishing boat that they're trying to say is a drug boat was bombed. I don't know why you're doing this. There's no due process. There's no, who's presented with what evidence. This is just, we're just going out and bombing. I mean, I know we've been doing this for years, and I know this stuff happens all the time. But apparently, the last boat that was blown up was just a fishing boat. From Comrade Misty, straight murked, no evidence presented, no due process, no trial. But something, political violence is bad, disgusting hypocrisy. U.S. military strikes another boat near Venezuela, killing 3 alleged drug traffickers. My God. Jesus. All right. Guys, if you like the show, if you want to support the show, if you find it educational or interesting at all whatsoever, and you want to support the show, please mosey on down to the description box of whatever platform you're watching on, or there's a link tree on X, on all the usual players are there: the Venmo, the Cash App, the PayPal, the Zelle, the Buy Me a Coffee, the Ko-Fi, etc. And many of you do support the show on the regular. You know who you are, and I do appreciate you. Yes, sir. All right, we're just a couple of things before I go. Credit scores are now falling at the fastest pace since the Great Recession. And we've been seeing a lot of these charts lately that, things are as bad, if not worse, than they were right around the Great Recession. So I don't know. I don't know, guys. Do with that information what you will. Also, this, I wish, people would be a little more together on Twitter, but they're not. So whatever. Breaking charges dropped against Luigi Mangione. Not charges, not all charges. So misleading headlines kind of suck. What's this stream about? It's news. What's up, Eagle Eyes? It's news. But what were dropped were the terrorism charges, citing lack of legally sufficient evidence. But the other charges are still pending. So there you go. Mostly propaganda from Black Bear News. Exactly. All right, guys, that does it for me. I appreciate you. I'm going to see you tomorrow at the same time, the very same time of 12 p.m. Pacific. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing along. Is it against AIPAC? I mean, isn't everybody? Come on, man. You could take that as a joke. All right. Bye-bye. I can always with those against AIPAC. I am always with those against AIPAC. All right, Eagle Eyes. Well, thumbs up, sir. Yeah, I mean, generally. I'm on the list. Yeah, I mean, what? Oh, I'm supposed to like AIPAC. I'm not, that's not what this channel is organized around. But anyways, take that for what you will. Peace to the Middle East, and I'll see you tomorrow.